A divided Supreme Court struck down a federal ATF ban on a controversial gun modification device. Bump stocks were used in the 2017 Las Vegas massacre, the deadliest mass shooting by a single gunman in U.S. history. The devices allow rapid fire, but the heart of the issue is whether they turn semi-automatic weapons into illegal machine guns. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in studio with the debate and the ruling. Sean.
Heather, and the debate in this case over bump stocks is not about Second Amendment rights, but rather whether ATF went beyond the authority given to the agency by Congress. A Las Vegas music festival became a murder field in 2017 when a gunman fired more than 1,000 rounds in minutes, killing 57 people, dozens more wounded. Bump stocks, which allow rapid fire, were an accessory the killer used. Not long after, ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, used its regulatory authority over the existing ban on machine guns to include bump stocks as well.
Does ATF have the authority to rewrite a criminal law that Congress passed decades ago banning machine guns? And it absolutely does not.
The Supreme Court, by a 6-3 decision, agreed, striking down the ban imposed by ATF during the Trump administration after the Las Vegas massacre. Shang Lee, one of the attorneys at the new Civil Liberties Alliance that represented Texas gun store owner Michael Cargill in this case.
Congress wrote the law and it defined a machine gun as a weapon that automatically fires multiple bullets by a single function of the trigger.
Justice Clarence Thomas for the majority writing, a bump stock does not alter the basic mechanics of bump firing, and the trigger still must be released and re-engaged to fire each additional shot.
That's a fundamental difference in how a firearm is constructed, and Congress defined one of those in its grant of authority to ATF and not the other. And, we can't rewrite that, and the Supreme Court agreed with that.
The split in the justices falling along conservative liberal lines. Writing the dissenting opinion, Justice Sonia Sotomayor looked back at the pain that pierced so many lives. In murdering so many people so quickly, he did not rely on a quick trigger finger. Instead, he relied on bump stocks. But banning bump stocks would require congressional action, not extending regulations by a government agency, as constitutional law attorney David Cole explains.
ATF's authority is defined with reference to a certain type of firearm, and within that area, they've got all kinds of authority. But outside that area, they don't.
Michael Cargill took to X, touting victory.
So now we have a case that is case law that we can move forward around this country and defend our Second Amendment rights.
But this case was not about the Second Amendment, rather the limits on ATF authority.
If something happens, some tragedy happens that showcases the vulnerabilities of an old statute, that doesn't change the language of the old statute. Instead, it may be a reason to act and amend the statute, but the fact that some tragedy happened does not change the law.
Yeah, and Congress would have to expand ATF's authority over items like bump stocks by changing the law for ATF to have jurisdiction over this specific accessory.